Look, I had one of like really close friend, and I would even say mentor of mine, from a previous
What an
church I went
interesting
to,
sentence.
had a
I would even say.
he had a Bible on his shelf that caught my eye one day called the Word on the Street Bible. You
Oh
may
yeah.
be familiar with it. Steven looks like he's not. So
I'm
it's
not.
basically like take the pirate Bible, but instead of pirate, it's like
Slang.
Ebonics.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So like, and I was like flipping through it, laughing at it, and he's like, "What? No, it's like a great tool." Sorry, what? I thought this was a joke. And he's like, "No, like there's a certain group of people that can like read this, and it makes more sense to them." I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's our job as pastors, like to. I don't know. I don't know.
Condescend.
I can go both ways on that argument.
More.
I tend to be very biblically conservative, where it's like I don't want to roll the dice with anything. So I'm just gonna say my job as a pastor is to help you understand the word the way it's written, not necessarily
Well,
change the language. I know what you're gonna say. I don't
what am I
I
gonna
don't
say?
know.
What am I gonna say, Preston?
just
I know what
like
I would
that
say.
we do the same thing with translations and like
Yeah,
yes,
because
but
there are some dialects that are so far diverged that they're like the Hawaiian Pidgin version, right? People love to pull that up to laugh at, but there are like human beings that's the only language they know and speak, and so to hand them a NASB and say, if you really love Jesus, you'll figure this out, is doing them a disservice and doing a discredit to like.
right, but that implies that like that our job is done with the handing off of the Bible. Like we're supposed to walk with these people and help them
Yes.
get it and understand it. And like I
So
know
again,
the
that logic
pirate
doesn't
Bible is
follow though, because if I go to Reynosa, Mexico, hand them an English Bible, I know you're not going to understand it. It's my job to just read this to you in English until you understand it. Like,
No, but
no,
here's
that
the deal.
logic doesn't follow.
Nah,
but
Ebonics
it's
is just
different
if
than
I use that book, I'm pandering. Like that's just me like pandering to black people. Like I'm not gonna lie. It would
Disagree.
it
Well,
would not come across very well.
I mean, I would say it depends on what like subculture you're going into. If
Maybe.
it's a subculture in which, again, that's the only dialect they really understand,
Sure.
they
Sure.
turn on the TV and they don't understand what's being said really because it's a different dialect altogether. It's not pandering; it's being helpful. It's the same thing, and we've talked about this. Go watch our episode on the Bible translations. Why
Sure.
I don't hate the Message translation anymore, because it was a means to an end, because Eugene Peterson was handing Bibles to his inner city church members and saying, read this and understand it. And they were like, we don't. Like, not even like, it's kind of hard for us to understand. We don't understand what these words mean, like the vocabulary. And so he wrote the Message in modern day vernacular so that he could hand them a Bible and say, this is the message. We will go deeper. This is a means to an end, but not to just preclude your involvement from the get-go by giving you something with a completely different set of vocabulary than you are capable of understanding right now. I'm going to help you meet me halfway there.
yeah, and I think I'm fine with
Now,
with
this does not do that.
yes,
To be clear.
Right. This is a
right,
different.
right.
This does
yeah.
not do that.
Yeah,
I
and
would
my
say, like-
issue's not with like language like language translations and things like that, but like I'm not gonna say meme translations, but things that like at least from our perspective look that way. Like what you hit the nail on the head when you said in your example with the Message, like this isn't it, we're going to go deeper. I think that's the pivotal point. So if we're handing someone this Bible and saying, here it is, go ahead, like this, and now you have the Bible in a way you can understand it, go do
As
it. It's
long
not
as, I would say, as long as going deeper doesn't just mean until you understand the way that I speak and can do this, because now we're asking them to conform to our culture, which is not, it goes back to be Christ-like where you are, not try to change the systems or the culture around you necessarily. Just be
right.
Christ-like.
I would compare it to the argument I'm making to like when we look at like certain mega churches, right? Where we're like, that's a pretty, some of them, not all of them. This is not shade at mega
Whoa.
churches time, but there are, okay, I'll go there. Elevation, for instance, like Furtick is on record as saying like, if you're a Christian, this isn't the church for you. Like we're here to like get people in the door, get them to a point, and then they mature and go on. And to me, it's like the same kind of argument where it's like, there has to be that element of go deeper. Like it doesn't stop here. If this helps you get your foot in the water, that's fine. But this can't end with like this being your daily driver, you know? Like you have to pursue more.
Again, I would say maybe, because if you're asking somebody, like, again, there's people that walk through our church doors that are like illiterate, like trying to get their GED. Saying in order to be a good Christian, you have to be able to read the Bible is doing them a disservice and putting an imposition on them that the Bible never does. So I understand that we can't just dumb things down and hand people a coloring book and say, this is how you find God. There's a lot of pastoral responsibility. We also need to be very careful, and churches are just as bad. There's churches just as bad as mega churches who like condescend the truth and negate the truth and devalue the truth in order to be palatable. There's churches who try to say, no, you have to conform to our established cultural moray within this church in order to be a good Christian. And I don't think that's fair either. I think that's getting outside of what we're supposed to do. Now,
You
again,
can do that without making goofy translations of scripture. That's my only thing.
For sure. I agree. But again, the Hawaiian pigeon, most people think that that's
Sure.
a meme. They don't understand that there is an entire dialect called the Hawaiian pigeon, and that's what that is there for. But I just think sometimes we go too far and say, no. Until you have a MacArthur Study Bible that you're memorizing, you're never going to be a good Christian. It's like, well, no, because you're eliminating a whole bunch of people that are never going to get there.